much rejoicing. Welcome to the Bitching Dead. We are your hosts, Becca, Fareed, and Tara. We're a webcast from the minds of the geeky, and we're here to bitch about stuff and things because somebody has to do it. If you haven't seen Daryl Dixon, the Book of Carol, please turn back now. We are not responsible for any spoilers you hear. We did warn you.
Please remember that this is recorded live, so we aren't exactly sure what's going to happen. Please forgive us for any technical difficulties or accidental or intentional swears. You can join the conversation with the hashtag #TheBitchingDead.
Uh, Me trying to adjust my stupid light so I can actually see things. We'd like to remind all of you that the views expressed on this webcast are those of the hosts as individuals and do not necessarily represent the webcast or the geekiary at all.
At all. That's it. It's just us now.
We're the only
Uh,
three people on the
They've
planet
let
that
us
can
go.
watch this.
Really do whatever, say
Hey,
whatever.
listen, I was on a Walking Dead panel at Dragon Con, and there were actually like 40 people in the room at 11:30 a.m. on a Friday of Dragon Con, and Thursday's a big party night.
Oh
So I no,
no.
40 people is like a lot, for that early in the morning of a Friday at Dragon Con for a show that I kind of thought like we were the last few people, and there were like five of us on the panel, or four of us, five of us, I don't know, four or five of us on the panel too. I was like, wow,
It's still
okay,
going. It's still
yeah.
going.
As we know all too well. What about news? Do we have news for you?
Oh, so ratings. So gone are the days that the Walking Dead franchise is ever gonna see an episode reach the 1 million viewer milestone. That's not happening. That's gone. Even the Rick and Michonne spinoff couldn't see it. So, as far as the ratings for the Daryl Dixon show is concerned, of course, season number two saw a lower viewership compared to season number one. Season number one averaged around zero point 0.6 million views, and season number two is averaging around zero point 0.5 million. So slowly but surely, the ratings are going down the drain, and hopefully the show will get canceled. But before that, it has been revealed that the show has been renewed for season number three, and it's gonna release sometime in 2025, possibly around the same time next year after Dead City. And the thing is that for season number three, they're trying to change things up now that Carol and Daryl are have been reunited, and they don't need to be in Paris anymore. They have gone on to España.
Mm.
But they're literally like in a tunnel on their way to England. So they're going to England first, but now they're also going. So this is basically just an excuse for the actors to see a bunch of Europe, in my opinion. And I'm not like not here for it, but also ugh.
Yeah,
Look, I'm just
they're going to Spain. I was actually thinking that they would do an entire season in the UK, but no. They're
look.
probably gonna be in the UK for an episode and then shift to Spain.
I'm just saying, Daryl and Carol Euro Trip. I haven't actually seen that movie, so I don't know what it's about. Don't come for me.
Eurotrip, I've seen it.
I've heard it's like raunchy, so
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen it.
I mean, at first when you said Daryl and Carol Eurotrip before you specified a movie, I was like, wait, so like you want to plan like a trip to Europe that follows where Daryl and Carol go? Like start in Paris, go to where were they? Go to Montmartre, I guess, like on the because they were up on the northern shore and or not Montmartre, wherever the fuck they were. I can't remember.
the southern.
No, they were on the
South.
northern shore, and but because they went to Normandy, that like it was
Well, originally they were in the south.
yeah, and I've been from Paris, like basically from Paris all the way south. I've seen all that entire part of France essentially. But like seriously, yeah, like Euro trip planned around Daryl and Carol show. Like I'm here
If
for
if
it. Even though I wouldn't.
If BuzzFeed was still a thing, they would have made an article about it. 10 top destinations where your Europe trip inspired.
Ooh, wait, yeah. Here, wait. So, what will be the Daryl Dixon show season 3? What are the Spain play like? Where are they gonna go in Spain? You know, like that's. And
They're
also,
gonna
why
have
not Portugal? Portugal
They're
is
gonna have a
hot.
little siesta. They're gonna go to Monaco.
Portugal is hot AF right now. Why aren't they going to Portugal?
Yeah, they're gonna do Spain, and I have a feeling I could be wrong. I think that they're going to Spain because they're gonna have their own little thing when it comes to the Day of the Dead. They're gonna play around with that.
Is Day of the Dead stuff? Is it Spanish or is it?
No, they
I don't think
celebrate it in
it's.
Spain too.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah,
Oh,
they
saying.
okay.
They
do.
celebrate it
Like,
in Spain, and apparently it's on Day of the Dead, Day of the Witches. So the Day of the Dead is November 2nd in Spain.
I mean, like they celebrate in Spain, but also, ooh,
They're
like
gonna try and do that because I think I saw it in the teaser that they released.
Oh, okay.
Did you guys see the teaser for season
No, see, I
3?
didn't
no,
even
I didn't
finish
know that
the
there was
series.
one.
Oh. Oh, so that's why. Yeah, in the teaser they're in Spain. Even though they were
I
supposed to be in the United Kingdom.
Freed, you're supposed to keep us on top
I
of this
know,
stuff,
right?
okay?
They're in freaking Spain.
All right, well, other than
And
that,
of
I guess.
course, they're in Spain. I think in the teaser, people were using those swords. The very Spanish swords.
Yeah.
Yeah, those
I
ones.
mean, mm, I have thoughts about the some of the later fighting in this second season where we'll just throw down our guns and
Right?
not
And
like
just
fence with each
fisticuffs?
other.
Really?
It was like
Look,
fencing and then it was fisticuffs. Anyway, we'll get into that.
shh, I liked it. Be quiet. Shh, 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 shh. I like Daryl with his. Is it a flail or a morning star?
I'm not even talking about Daryl. I'm talking about the woman
The
and
woman
the
and the
guy
tall
who's
guy, yeah.
I can't
Oh
remember
yeah.
any like
When
listen,
she was like,
y'all.
she's like, aha! Whenever they were in the
Aha!
catacombs
On
and she had that
guard.
sword
She
on
was like,
guard.
on
Yeah.
guard. I was like, okay.
Dean was like, they just threw down their guns. What the fuck? Like, just kill each other.
Right?
Okay, because like I didn't really get a chance to participate really to talk about the Daryl Dixon stuff because I actually did not watch it
Until like
until
yesterday.
like yesterday.
Today.
Yeah, last night. I really liked the first season a lot.
It
And
was
I
far
like
better than Dead City. So
Dead City. That's coming
better
back for a
than
season 2.
it's better than most of the spinoffs, if I'm being perfectly honest.
oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
The
not
writing
wrong.
is a lot better.
The child savior thing like is I'm over it, especially since it's such a fucking copy of The Last of Us, but you
Mm-hmm.
know.
I'll let it go. I'll let it go.
Anyway, should we get into like our actual
Yeah,
we're
let's get
already
into
just
it.
talking about things. So,
Let's
Yeah,
do
favorite
it.
favorite
moments.
moments. Favorite moments. So when we're talking about favorite moments, guys, we are talking about the season as a whole. We are not doing the episode breakdown, the 6 episodes. We're not doing that. So my favorite moment for season number 2 was Carol using Sophia's name like that in order to manipulate Ash. Was such a Carol thing to do. I was like, yes, Carol, do that.
I
Do
forgot how
that.
manipulative she is. Like I forgot how like truly like horrible and awful she can be. Because
She
like
is, and I love that about her.
I
She is supposed to be a
know.
horrible
Like
person.
go off, girl. You deserve it. You deserve to
Right?
lie a little.
And I was like, of course she would use it. And then the thing that I didn't like is something that I'll talk more about because that's a point that Tara brought up. I'm like, okay, her using Sophia's name to be manipulative, I was okay with that. But then all of that Sophia PTSD and remembering Sophia, I was like, no, no, that's not Carol. No.
Yeah, I have a lot. I have quite a bit to
Yeah.
say about
And
that.
also,
But
I was like, also she brought up Sophia. Why couldn't she just tell Ash that Daryl was his son? Just do that. Just say that I'm going to search for my son,
Yeah.
Daryl.
This is
That's
my
it.
son who somehow has no gray hair whatsoever, despite the
It
fact
doesn't
that
matter. Ash
he
doesn't
has.
know.
It's
Ash
despite
doesn't
that.
know. I
Well,
adopted
listen,
him.
I'm saying this for the viewers. Despite the fact that Daryl the has the right out of everybody to have the most gray hair.
Mhm.
Oh my god.
She should have just lied that oh yeah, I have a son named Daryl. And when Daryl showed up, Ash would have been like, "Is that your son?" She would be like, "I didn't tell you what age he was." All them bitches, my
He's
sons.
her
No.
stepson.
Wink wonk.
Stepson. Like,
Yeah, he's
I mean,
my
listen,
stepson.
I
He's
have a
gone
full
through
ass
a lot.
adult stepson.
I'm like,
So
Ash, he's been alone for years now. He grew. He's been through a lot. Let my son go. He's still 10 years old.
also, oh gosh, I've so much.
I didn't like that, the Sophia thing. And another favorite thing that I like was Carol and Daryl's reunion, finally. It was so
Yeah.
nice.
Who
He
doesn't
cried.
ever like that?
He just started crying, and I'm like, "Aw."
Look, that's his best friend, Your Honor. Okay.
I love that. I
He
love
always
that.
he always like turns into a little puppy dog when Carol's around. Like he's always like his little lip wobbles and he
Her son, that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
She's his mom.
And yeah.
In a way. In a way. I'm like, yeah, sure, just do that. But yeah, that's it. That's my favorite moment. That's it.
Um, so whenever I was looking up like stuff for this season, which I am known to do this, as I'm always known to spoil myself. And because I had been like, oh, I bet Isabel and Daryl are going to get together. And they
Mm.
didn't in the first season. And then randomly out of fucking nowhere, they kissed. And I was like, ah! Like, I was so excited. I've always just wanted Daryl to be happy. Okay.
Mhm.
And shut up, Tara. I don't know why you have that expression on your face, but shut up.
Oh no, I was gonna say I figured they were going to, right?
Oh,
And I was
okay.
also surprised it didn't happen in the first season. I will say this, the kissing scene was really awkward.
No, it was.
It was
It was,
very,
but
it was like two like little like tweens having their first kiss.
but it okay, but that's the thing though, is that like that is Daryl. And
I
Daryl
Isabel's
is
a
a
think
kid.
nun.
He's a child. He is an awkward teen.
Yeah.
I think like I would have actually like felt less like, oh, this is weird that it's so like awkward if we hadn't had that whole thing in The Walking Dead where Daryl had that long relationship with that one
Mhm.
girl. Like, so we
Mhm.
know he's been with somebody, sort of somewhat recently.
I
And
did
so it just felt like if he had never had that, then I would have been like, oh, this is the cutest thing ever. And I'm not like really even saying I didn't like it. It was just like, whoa, this is awkward. This
so
is awkward.
I actually looked up like actually was looking up like his relationships or whatever. And of course Beth was mentioned. And then Leah was mentioned, but Leah was mentioned as being like his like his friend with benefits kind of thing. And I was like, interesting. And of course, if you
Mm.
notice though, Isa is very much like, I love you, like says it multiple times
Oh
and
yeah, it's a very
multiple,
lovey-lovey,
yeah,
yeah.
she's very, she's French, but like, she's very free with her emotions and, in tune with her emotions. And of course, Daryl is obviously not. Um, and so, sorry, I think these headphones are muffling me. It's driving me crazy. Um, so I think that, but of course, Daryl never says it back ever. Even
Mhm.
other people say, "Hey, it's obvious that she really loved you," and he's like,
Eh.
mm, "Cool." Like cool
Mm.
beans, but I was really excited to have them kiss. Also, it is so refreshing to have Daryl say "fuck." Like, it is so nice for him because, like, that is like his best. Like, that's his favorite word. I bet. Um. Also, their reunion was Carol's and
Mhm.
Daryl's reunion was amazing. Um. I felt like the writing is a lot better in this series as a whole. The first season, it was a lot better. Second season, it kind of slipped a little bit, but again, I did not watch the whole season. I did kind of have to
Mhm.
skip around a lot. But I did feel like one, it's more cinematic. I felt that the way it was shot was a lot better. Obviously, like Norman Reedus has put is a producer, so like his personal money is going into it. And I think that he definitely has had a say in how it's shot and what they use and what they don't do and what they do do. And
So just to be clear, it's not necessarily that, unless you've seen otherwise, being a producer doesn't necessarily mean that your personal money is
No.
going into it, but it does mean that he has some control over how
Yes.
things are done.
Right. Yeah. That's kind of what I meant. But I do know that producers do often
Mhm.
funnel their own money into a project.
Yeah.
And you can definitely tell that there are marks because I've seen some of Norman's other stuff that he's produced, and there's definitely touches of his hand everywhere. And then, so this is kind of um, this is a and this is going to be a segue into like, and I was kind of typing as I was watching. I was like, oh my God, I really love Dee Dee and Theo a lot. You don't see any kind of comfort for Carol like very often at all. But like Dee Dee was very comforting with Carol with the whole barn thing. Like she was very sweet. And I was like, wow, I really like Theo. And then worst moments, I said, never mind, fuck Theo and his bitch ass, which we can talk about later. But yeah, but I was like, oh my God, I love Dee Dee and Theo. They're so cute. And then I was like, hey, what the fuck? Anyway, okay, so Tara, go ahead. Talk about your favorite moments.
Well, I mean, I agree about the swearing thing because let's be real, like it always felt so awkward in the shows that were airing on AMC, like on cable, where they couldn't
Yeah.
swear. Like even Negan was toned down so much with his swearing, and who the fuck isn't swearing at like 90% of these 99% of these things that are bad things, especially that are happening to them in the fucking walker apocalypse, because we can't call them zombies.
No.
Also, I forgot to write down the names. They called them different names. The walkers, they called them different. That's not even a favorite moment, but we got more names.
Hungry ones.
Hungry Ones was one of them. Yeah. So yeah, I agree about the swearing. Obviously, I already said I agree about the Daryl and Carol reunion, despite the awkwardness of the kiss. And like Becca, you're like, oh, she's French, and it's like, yes, it's very like je t'aime et je t'adore. Like he might never say it, but he totally does.
Mm.
And also like you can know too, like. There's been times when I've been the person who said I love you first in a relationship because I knew that they were going to say it back. Like they were just being cagey or like, oh, should I say it yet? I don't know. And it's like, well, fucking fine. If you're not going to say it, I'll say it. I
I'm
don't
gonna say
care.
it. Yeah.
Like
And I think that
somebody's got to be the first one. And I'm not going to
And-
wait another 6 months for you to decide that you're like not afraid to say it anymore.
And I think
man.
that hers is obviously like words, and Daryl's is definitely acts of service.
Mm-hmm.
And by taking care of Isa and Sylvie and Laurent, like that is his way of saying I love you back.
My other favorite moments are just very brief. Janae finally dying, goodbye forever. Like I don't like I have no sympathy for characters who are like, I'm for the proletariat, but let me also be exactly the opposite of the thing I say I'm for. And then Carol's this is a small one, but when Carol walked into the demi-monde and she's just like, what the fuck? Like not judgmental, but more like, how the fuck is this here?
Right.
What the fuck is happening? Like it's Carol. We have to remember, like Carol was so contained by Ed in her marriage, and then after that, even she's never seen this sort of like sexualization. I don't think like outside of maybe, I don't know, TV or movies that she might have watched, but I imagine Ed like put the kibosh on a lot of that back in the day. And then there were no TV and movies. So yeah, her just looking around being like, what the fuck have I gotten into? And again, not in a judgmental way, just like, whoa, wow. Okay.
Not only that,
Okay.
but I think also what part of it is the opulence too.
Well, right, yeah.
Because we saw some of that on Daryl's face too, but I definitely think that obviously she's coming from the Commonwealth where it's very much or no, is she coming from the Commonwealth? I honestly don't remember because there's so much happened in The Walking Dead. But so she's coming from mostly, everybody's tight to their chest and has a job to do, and yet she comes where people are drinking champagne and drag queens are twirling from the ceiling, and it's like, what the fuck? But yeah, I was like that. I was like, "Oh my god, this still exists in the apocalypse?"
Did you
Like, insane.
did you watch the Daryl the first season episode where there's the guy with the Walker Symphony?
The walkers. Yes! Oh my god, I did.
I mean,
And
that
I
was
was
just
like,
fucking hilarious, and I was like, "What are you
"Bro."
doing, dude? But yeah, and again, like, her reactions weren't, like, judgmental. It was or maybe a little bit judgmental, but in the way of, like, all this opulence, and yet there's still people out there who are starving probably. But still, it was very funny because while Daryl had some reaction to it, uh Norman Reedus and or as an actor and or Daryl as a character are very like stoic. So like so much of the time, almost all the time. And Carol can be that way too when she needs to be, but there was like she was just not hiding it. She was like, ooh, ooh, like not, and again, not like in a oh, I'm grossed out judgmental way about like the sexiness and stuff like that. It was more just like, what the fuck did I just walk into? How does this exist? Sort of thing. It was funny. It was funny to me. So
Yeah.
those were my favorite things. And like the worst thing is I did not hate like overall, I have a lot of gripes about the end of the season, but I did not hate this like the 2 seasons of this show.
Right? Yeah.
The problem is that so much of it doesn't make sense, and I think we should get into that with our worst moments.
Mhm. Okay, for me, the worst moments was Sylvie's death for no apparent reason. She just fell to her death. For what? Why? And apparently she died, but her brain or head wasn't injured because then they used her as a walker
Yeah, that was
Oh.
fucking weird.
to
Like
bite
she
Laurent.
was
I was like,
literally like bleeding out of the
she
skull.
should be dead, dead.
Yeah. Dead.
Like dead
Dead
city.
dead dead Sylvie.
She
Oh
should be
no.
dead.
Sorry. Sorry, too soon. Hashtag too soon. It's been a few weeks. We're good, right?
Yeah, it's like why?
I liked Sylvie, and that was
I
it was a
liked her. I
shitty,
was like,
weird death.
and it made no sense. Like the way she fell made no sense. No one pushed her or anything. She didn't trip or she just fell.
I mean, honestly, that would be me though. I would be like,
It's-
fall over
I
just
was
just
just
because I'm
done.
clumsy as fuck.
But that's the thing. She's not clumsy. We've seen
No.
her.
Yeah.
No.
No, but
And
I
then,
agree. Like
yeah, it
literally,
made no
like
sense to
hashtag
me.
justice for Sylvie.
Justice for Sylvie. And then Isabella's death, which was like, I could kind of see it coming. Because I already, before seeing the season, I did watch the teaser and what was going to happen in season 3. So I knew that Isabel wasn't going to continue her journey with Daryl and Carol to Spain. So I was like, oh, they're going to kill her off. And that's exactly what they did. And they killed her off in the most unheroic manner. Like she didn't even die fighting
Well,
or
I mean, she
trying to save
sort of did
Daryl,
because didn't she stab what's his name with like a sharp thing? The priest guy.
right? No, I
I
was like,
remember none of their names. I rely
wow.
on you guys.
I think she scratched his face or
What
something.
what priest guy?
The
The evil priest guy who was
yeah.
leading. What?
I thought she
Lost
like I thought
Lawson? Lossing?
whatever the fuck his name was.
Yeah,
Like
she
I
she had a
she had like a sharp thing in her hand and she
and
did.
she
She she cut him or something,
Yeah,
but
she
then
got his face.
she didn't get very far, and then
Wow.
he stabbed her, and like he lived anyway. And you're right, she did not die a heroic death. And
Right? I wanted
also
her
it
to
was
die, I don't know, trying to save Daryl or Carol or Ron. Just sacrifice yourself for the greater good or something. I don't know.
Oh
But
my gosh,
not
more
like
greater
that.
good. This is
For
the
the
greatest
greater
good
good.
you are ever gonna get.
I mean, like, I hemmed and hawed about putting her death as like one of my worst moments, but then you did, and I was like, I don't need to double up on that. I've got enough of my own. But I since you already had added it, like, I'm just gonna piggyback on that a little bit to say, okay, yeah, cool. They fridged her.
Didn't
They fridged her.
sure.
They fridged her. Yawn. Like, how are we not beyond that yet? It's in the year of our Lord 2024. How
In
are
the
we not
year
beyond?
of our Lord, Laurent.
Oh, in the year of our Laurent 2024.
Laurent. Saint Laurent.
In the
Saint
year of our
Laurent,
Laurent
the book of
2024.
Carol 2020.
Is that really what this season was called, The Book of Carol, or is that just something that we've
Yes.
been goofing at?
No,
Oh,
that's what it was
That's
called.
the actual name.
Becca's over here like, I'm gonna type another worst moment.
no, I literally, because like I was looking for, I typed in The Book of Carol and it didn't come up. And I was like,
Yeah. It when you're actually starting to watch it, it doesn't come up as that for whatever reason. But that is what it was called. But yeah, yeah. In the year of our Laurent 2024, they fridged. What does he call her? Izzy?
Issa.
Issa. That's what it was. I again, for anybody watching this, I don't remember any of these people's names. Like, I remember Daryl, Carol, and Laurent. Literally nobody else.
Well, I remember most of them, so at least one of us does.
I mean, when you guys were in our chat prior to like, obviously recording this, Becca, maybe it was you, or you guys had a conversation back and forth about Sylvie falling to her death, and I was like, oh, that's Sylvie. Okay. And earlier, I did not remember Isabel's name, the nun. That's all I remembered her as. And I don't know why. Like, I didn't. Well, I know why. I didn't
Because you don't care.
No, because I didn't pay enough attention to these episodes. It's like I only remember characters who are like saying they're saying their names. I know them, Daryl, Carol, and Ash, or sorry, Darren and Carol. Their names are being said constantly, Ash and Laurent. Or that's it. That's all I know.
That's
like,
it. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So you don't
Becca,
care
what were
about a
your
poor,
worst?
blonde, dead white woman.
He got fridged. Who cares?
Yeah. Becca, what were your worst moments?
So I really liked Issa, unlike some other people in this chat. And
I didn't say I didn't like her. Jesus Christ.
Anyway, I really liked her. I was really upset that she died. She didn't have to die, or she could have died better, like Fareed said. Also barn trauma, like girl dinner, but like barn trauma. Let Daryl grieve for fuck's sake. And then never mind, fuck Theo and his bitch ass. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff. I was really tired of everybody getting found all the time. Because like, is everybody like, are they all like living close together, or are they like, because like it feels like that they were able to get from point A to point B to point C like really fast, and like from point like B
to
to
be
C
fair,
and then C to A really quickly, like a lot.
France is pretty small. Like, it's a big country in Europe, but think about how fast people got everywhere in The Walking Dead in the US.
Well, it's with their teleportation devices.
Yeah. They all have TARDIS.
They got tunnels. They got tunnels. They got tunnels.
They got
tunnels.
I thought you said they have turtles, but you were saying it with a weird. I was like, "What's a turtle?"
Not like a turtle.
A turtle. I mean, they have the catacombs, but like,
no, but those aren't a transportation system. Those are a burial ground underneath the city of Paris.
You know what? think what I want. But yeah, so it just was very anyway, but going on to barn trauma, Tara has something to say.
Yes. So Carol, not considering what would happen when she had to admit that there was no Sophia to chase after in France. And basically, all of the like, suddenly Carol has Sophia PTSD again when it's been how many years? Well over a decade. And she rarely, if ever, even mentioned Sophia for like more than half of that, like
Mm-hmm.
well over half of that decade. Okay. Like I know earlier on, particularly when there were things where she was like, every time she lost a kid or, had to kill a kid, she
Kill a
would like
kid.
think of Sophia probably, or maybe mention Sophia, but not always. I don't remember her mentioning Sophia when she had to shoot, when she had to, watch the flowers, that girl whose name I don't remember also.
Mika and
Mika, yeah.
Lizzie.
Well, Mika was the one that Lizzie killed, so she had to kill Lizzie.
Lizzie.
But yeah, like all this time has passed, and she has like almost never mentioned Sophia. She has basically never mentioned Sophia for over half a decade, and now it's like way over than half a decade. And maybe she mentioned Sophia when Henry died. I can't remember, but like honestly, girl, like you did not consider what would happen when you got back to Ash with, with nobody is one thing, but you bring a old man. And I don't, I say old, I'm joking, but you
Right.
bring
Yeah.
like a middle-aged man that like you're basically the same age as you back to Ash, and you're like, this is Daryl. And you could have just not told him who Daryl was. You could have just been like, yeah, I found this other American. My daughter is, I can't find my daughter. Let's bring this
And Ash,
American back.
Ash even gave her an out. When they
Yeah.
returned and Ash was injured, Ash was like, okay, so did Sophia not make it?
Yeah.
And she could have been like, yeah, she died. Let's go.
And I honestly feel like I, in a way, like I wanted Carol to be honest, but in another way, it's like, girl is dumb as fuck for you to be honest right now. Like, I want you to be honest. Like, I want people to be honest. I want her to have not told the lie in the first place is the problem. But, and then also Daryl acting like he wasn't going to try to take Laurent, or he wasn't going to take Laurent with them if he went back with
Right?
Carol. Like, come on, babe. Like, like he has other people here who care about him. He has people he barely knows.
Knows.
His aunt or whatever the fuck she was is dead. You are the person he is most attached to now. You are his
Mm-hmm.
father figure. We have seen you literally take on the children of other people who are just like, bye forever. I'm gonna go find my husband, and PS, maybe I'll never be back. Take care of my 2 kids. Like, we've seen him take these kids on as his own. And that was like, and yes, he has a huge connection to like Judith and RJ, but like, I just, what? Oh no, he has people here. He can stay with those people here. Blah, 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 blah.
No.
I just, and then my last big what the fuck moment. I have a lot of gripes too, but my last big what the fuck moment is the whole second half of the final episode where they go into a tunnel with these 2 Scottish people,
Ah,
and so do you guys have thoughts on that? Because like I'm confused. Did the Scottish people know that they were leading them into like a trap, or did
yeah,
they
they
did?
knew. They knew. They had masks later on.
So I knew they had masks, but I was like, what I was like unsure about was like, why? Like, what are you getting out of this? Like a couple bottles of wine and some cheese or whatever? Like,
Right?
why would you
Right?
go through all of that and like chance that the people you're leading through this tunnel are actually going to be like easy to kill? The whole thing was just dumb and weird and dumb, and I hated it. And it was literally just like here's how we're gonna. Well, actually, it was 2 things. It was, let's give them visions of their dead loved ones, ugh. And then B, let's, force the whole show to continue as we always do with these Walking Dead shows. Like, it's never ending. It's never going to end. I'm going to die. And The Walking Dead will still
Still going on. And Carol and Daryl would still haven't reached Rick. They're still trotting around the globe.
I still haven't seen. I still haven't seen the ending, so I don't know what y'all are talking about these Scottish people leading them into a tunnel. But I know
skip through.
I know that
episode.
I know that Falu said.
Is he the guy that had the patch over his eye because he got beaten up so bad? The tall guy?
No, Falu is the black guy.
I don't know any of their names. Okay, so
well, he's the black guy, and he wears a hat. He has.
Okay, I liked him. I liked him a lot. He was a cool character.
But he was the one who said, "Yeah, we know," and then we know somebody who can help take you to England. And Daryl said, "Oh, do they speak English?" And he said, "Oh, well, they're Scottish." So, and then he shrugged his shoulders. So,
yeah, and then you could have skipped the next 20 minutes and just watched the last 5 minutes of the episode.
You bet. I did not. You said once the plane stuff is over, but they were still in the fucking plane. Anyway,
wait,
I'm just gonna.
Who was in the plane? The plane was gone. The plane had flown away with.
The plane was gone by episode 5.
Laurent and Ash had flown away. They're
well,
gone.
I had to get. Well, okay. First of all, I had to take care of my dog, who is sick, by the way. I had to make myself dinner, so I did not get a chance to watch.
Listen, I'm not mad at you for. I'm not mad at you.
Becca's gonna be saying all of that. If she was in Carol's place, she would be like, Ash, I had to take care of my dog.
Daryl was my sick dog. I had to bring him on the airplane.
To go make him dinner.
But I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch everything.
Well, I mean, so the TLDR is that Carol, Ash, and Laurent were on the plane. People were shooting at the plane.
Right.
It was taking too long to take off.
Right. So
Carol dived out, shot some people because that's what Carol does. And the plane left, and the plane's gone. They're gone.
Right. Yes. Okay.
And then they were like, well, we still want to get back to the United Colonies of the Commonwealth or whatever the fuck they're calling our country at this, because at this point it's not the United States of America. No. It's not the USA. France is just France, okay? But there's no states in America anymore. It's just spotty little communities. The non-united communities of the Americas.
I hadn't even gotten to the point where the plane had left, had completely gone yet. Carol and Daryl had just met up after she had dove off the plane. That was it. And then it was time for me to start to send you guys the link to join.
Well, the plane had taken off at that point. So
but that's it. The plane's gone.
Yeah, the plane was
gone.
Okay, well, anyway. I'm just trying to figure out. It doesn't matter. I'll rewatch it anyway.
We're terrible webcasters.
Wait, so they showed their loved ones dead?
Okay, so what happened was that the Scottish people that were supposed to help Carol and Daryl.
This is what I'm asking about. Thank you for reading.
Yeah. Yes, so get through the tunnel.
They took them through a tunnel, and the thing with the tunnel is that it's got so much bat guano in it that once you start inhaling it, it gets to your brain and you start going crazy. You start seeing things. And that was the trap, that the couple was going to keep them going through the tunnels so that Daryl and Carol would start inhaling all the fumes and start seeing things. And to top it all off, inside the tunnel, the walkers, they got fungi and all the other stuff growing on them.
Yeah.
So they're bioluminescent. They be shining in the tunnels.
Okay.
Their faces as if they're in a rave, imagine neon green colors.
Oh.
So Okay, so you got glow in the dark walkers. That's the Funko
Okay.
Pop they should make. Then they got, and then they also have the fumes messing with their heads.
So they hallucinated.
They start hallucinating.
Okay.
So that's what happens. And
Okay.
then Carol hallucinates Sophia, and she starts walking behind a walker because she thinks that walker is Sophia. And then Daryl ends up gets injured and all of that stuff, and he starts hallucinating Isabel.
Mm.
And Isabel comes in, and she's like, "Don't give up. Bet on hope. This is not how your story ends, mi amor."
Okay.
And then he gets up, suddenly gets up, and he ends up killing the couple. And then he and Carol reunite, they put on their masks, and they keep on going through the tunnel.
And did the tall guy die?
No, he just ran away
Okay, that's what I thought.
after
That's what I
Michelle.
thought. Yeah.
He's been through so much shit. That tall guy
No,
has
he's
been
still
through
alive. He's
so
still alive.
much.
He's got a
Good. I
stroke of
like him.
insane.
I mean,
He's
he was real shitty at first, but he's
yeah.
he's on his redemption arc, you know.
Hmm
Although
He helped he helped Laurent a lot.
I'm not sure why. Like I didn't like I missed his all of a sudden he was like, "Oh, I want to help the boy live." Ta-da. And that was
hmm
it.
It was a pretty sudden decision, but it also didn't help that he got captured by Janae and was like tortured to within an inch of his life.
He
Let's
lost
be
his two
real.
fingers. He only got 3 fingers on one hand.
Oh, ew. Okay, are we ready to move on to other gripes and what the fuck moments?
But yeah, okay. I guess so. Yeah. So
I think so. I mean,
yeah.
we've already been
So
talking about
there's
some of
nothing
them.
like the only thing that I think we forgot to talk about is those two women in Greenland who
Oh,
wanted Ash
wanted his
to be a
babies,
donor.
his
I'm
baby
like,
Bisquick or whatever it
why are
was
we
that
wasting
Abraham called it.
time? Why are we wasting time? Yeah.
They couldn't
Like
just be helpful. Like they couldn't just
no.
be. I mean, we know why they couldn't just be helpful. It's a Walking Dead. It's a Walking Dead show, whatever. But yeah, that was just a okay, fine. I mean, you know why we're wasting time. They needed 6 episodes of this shit so they could get them
This could have been 4 episodes.
get
4
4. I
episodes.
think it
That's
could have
it.
been 3. I think it could have been 3, but
Mm-hmm.
it could have been 3 slightly. It could have been 3 like hour 15-minute
Mm.
episodes. That's what it
That's
could
it.
have been.
Yeah. 3.5. 3.5 episode. You there.
Yeah, yeah.
But no.
But yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Other gripes. Other gripes and moments. So the zombies were conveniently weak now that they couldn't even break a single car door.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, tall guy who got beat up, who's on his redemption arc, whose name I do not know. He was like fighting all like this like kind of like mini horde of like ultra powered zombies who'd been shot with the darts or ultra powered walkers, ultra powered hungry ones, ultra
Hungry
powered whatever
one.
the fuck you want to call them in this universe. He'd been fighting them. How the fuck did he live? We don't even know. So like I feel I think I'm more like questioning him surviving that than I am the fact that they couldn't. Maybe those car windows were bulletproof.
No.
Listen, the car
And
was like
Ash,
kind of a fancy
right?
car.
And
It had like
Ash
a
was
weird
and
double moon sunroof thing.
right, and Ash was in there for like 2 days, and not a single zombie was able to get in. Like, what?
Or like all of them didn't somehow like tip the car over when they were like,
Right?
"Ah," yeah.
It makes
I
no
mean, I
sense
don't
to me.
disagree, but
Right? It
you
was so
know.
weird to me. I was like, oh, come on, have him trapped in a ditch or something. Like,
I
not in a
I have a
car. It doesn't
question.
make sense. Yeah.
I have a question. Were the zombies exploding? Is that what killed the other zombies
No,
whenever
no,
they
no.
shot him with the
So
dart?
after Daryl shot the zombies with the amp up juice and made them hungrier, so the hungry ones get shot and they become hungrier ones. So those zombies are like so out of control that they will start killing other zombies.
Well, and did
Okay.
anybody else notice? And maybe I missed something, but it looked like he was only shooting the ones who were guards.
Yes, the ones with the armor and stuff.
Yeah, so that was, I think, part of it too.
Yeah, so they just started
Okay.
just so again, after you get amped up, those zombies don't care. They're gonna attack anything, everything basically.
Okay. Because it just sounded like they were like exploding like popcorn kernels, and I was like,
Hmm.
what is that?
It did look like that.
Yeah. Did you
And
already?
yeah, and again, my other gripe was like no reason for Ash to tell the truth about Sophia. Just tell her she
You mean
died.
Carol? Oh, no reason for Carol to tell the truth.
Yeah, no reason.
Yeah,
Just tell her Sophia died. I couldn't find her, or we found her, and
we found
that
this other American.
we found this other child. Sophia is now Laurent. Congratulations. I don't know. Make Laurent make a Mulan thing. Make Laurent act like Sophia. I don't know. He has got long hair. Ash wouldn't know. The child is
Well,
French.
Sophia's supposed to be a whole ass adult now, so I think he would know.
Right? But yeah, it was unnecessary drama for just no
Yeah,
reason at
no,
all.
yeah,
Again, he
yep.
gave her an out. He directly asked her. So Sophia didn't make it. And then she could have been like, yeah, she didn't. Let's not talk about it. But oh well, that happened. But that's my and again, Isabel's death. But why? Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is just a really sick. Is that a gripe or WT? It's more of a WCF moment. So like I was watching, I was watching some of the zombies like whenever some like freshly turned zombies whenever they were chasing Laurent, and I swear to God they were growling in a French accent. They were like, "Oh, oui, baguette," like, and it was just like it was. They really do. They have an accent. The walkers have an accent in France.
Huh.
They
I didn't
do.
notice that, but now I
It
feel
was
like I want to
it
go
was
back and like watch a couple scenes and
Right?
see.
it was one specific scene that I could recall, and I think it was in Miss Maison de Mer or whatever. Mention
I
Mer,
think it's just Maison Mère.
Maison Mer. So I think it was either there or it was in the nest. No, not the nest.
No, it should have been it probably was in Maison. Oh, maybe then. Oh yeah, maybe the nest.
It was
When
it was either
when they all like shot when they created the walkers to go like rush the castle, the that castle.
The nest,
it's
Whatever
the
it's called.
fort,
Yeah, the
whatever
fort.
it was.
not the nest. It's like where all the crates are stacked on top of each other and everybody lives inside it. Is that the nest?
Oh. I think
In
you're
Is that the
right.
Paris.
nest?
It's not the
No, it's in
nest?
Paris somewhere. I thought that's what it was.
Oh.
Anyway, he sounded like he had a French accent, and I was very amused.
You know what? That would actually be genius.
Yeah.
Having the walkers have different accents, like the Southern walkers have a very Southern accent. Like that would actually be a creative.
Yeehaw! Rah,
I would
rah.
actually like it.
That
Also,
would be fun.
I'm mad at myself because I said Montmartre earlier, and that's in Paris, but I meant Mont Saint Michel. That's where they have like the castle, whatever it is, off the shore of
That's the
northern
one that was where
France.
that's the nest, right? That was Mont Saint Michel.
Was that not
I
the nest?
No, that is the
maybe
nest. But
yeah,
then
yeah,
there's
I think that's the nest. Yeah.
that's the one in Paris. There was a part in Paris, I think, that it was where it was either Maison Mare or it was a part in whenever they were in Paris and they were in that little fort where the fort in Paris. It doesn't matter. Anyway,
Whatever.
it sounded
Yeah.
like they were growling in a French
I
accent.
I feel like I need to go back and like watch
Right.
that because you might be right because you watched it more recently than I did, especially the first season.
Mhm.
I have several gripes in
Yeah,
this podcast.
we can
Sorry, yeah,
see.
sorry, not sorry.
You see that? Yeah.
Carol getting shot with one of those darts and having so much plot armor that she could just pluck it out and have no side effects whatsoever.
Yes.
Like, is it because she was wearing a leather coat? Like,
I'm wondering
it
about that
didn't.
because she had, yeah.
Like, I can
And then she used the
understand.
same dart on Jeanette, and she turned. She couldn't pull it, or maybe it was the second. Or maybe there was a delay, a split-second delay that she knew
Maybe.
about. Because she did see them use them on the
Yeah,
zombies,
that's
right? I
true.
think it was a split-second delay because Jeanette couldn't take it out because it was her on her back. She couldn't reach.
Oh, yeah.
It went
Oh, I
in.
forgot about that. Yeah, you're right.
It went in because
But
Carol was quick.
and also
Carol was
Carol was
quick to get it
wearing like
out.
leather, and she was like, "Boop."
Could
Oh,
be.
Carol, plot armor for Carol.
Right?
Like, I'm here
Right?
for
Look,
hashtag plot armor for Carol, but
right? Just give her all the
um,
armor. Yeah, and send her on a murder spree.
the fucking Mona Lisa being hung in the Demi-Monde like it's some live, laugh, love print from fucking Home Goods. No protection at all. Something that old, exposed to the elements like that, is gonna waste away like so fucking fast. Is there really no one who thought, maybe we better protect what was like once a priceless
Mm-hmm.
piece of one of a kind art by one of the most famous artists, if not the most famous artist who has ever lived? And I know, Becca, like, you have a note here,
So
but
I was recently at a museum, like you
Mm-hmm.
do, and they have these thin pieces of glare-free glass, and you cannot tell that they are there, but
Yeah,
they
they're
are
there.
on they're affixed to the just on the inside of the frame, and it hangs
yeah,
over the photo. So there's a distinct possibility that that's what was there. But people who don't go to museums don't know that. So
don't look at
Mm-hmm.
me. I go to museums
I
all the
no,
fucking
bitch, I
time.
didn't say you didn't go to museums because like, but people who were out there just being like, oh yeah, a Mona Lisa out there in the elements, that sounds totally normal. But like, no, but there's a reason why they have these dust covers over them. Like, I don't even know if it's like if it's glass or if it's acrylic, but whatever it is, it's some kind of a glare-free protector, and it protects against the sunlight and it protects against dust. Um, but yeah, so I don't know if they, whatever they were looting, the Louvre, if they would have
The
taken
Louvre.
the
Louvre.
Louvre,
The
Yeah,
Louvre,
Louvre.
to me,
Louvre.
the way they, I mean, obviously what they were using was like a copy. So to
Yeah.
me, it looked like they were just hanging the OG Mona Lisa without any sort of protection. And also, like, I don't know, like I could be wrong, but I feel like it should have looked like they should have made it obvious that it had protection, because to me it looked like it had nothing. And I know,
No,
like,
Yeah.
it didn't look like nothing, not even like cellophane or
right,
something, like anything.
because that's the thing, like, you can tell. So, like, I mean, I don't, like, you can tell. I've been to the Louvre. I've seen the Mona Lisa. Like, you can tell that it's protected. I've been to a lot of fucking museums. You can see you can see that they're protected. It just felt very like, okay, fine, whatever. Do your thing. It was also hilarious that in the, was it, yeah, the last episode, they were shooting at the plane the way they
Mhm.
were in the season finale, because, like, if you're trying to steal the plane so you can fly away, you could destroy it by shooting at it, for fuck's sake. And if you're trying to get Laurent back, like, that's all you're trying to do is get Laurent back, you could still destroy the plane and or just kill him by shooting him. Like, separately. What are you doing? You idiots. Stop. Like, what is that whole firefight at the end was just like, for Christ's sake, guys, have a little bit of an, he's getting away. The plane is getting away. Like, the more likely situation is that you're going to blow up the plane. And
Mhm.
if and ruin the plane you're trying to use, and also kill Laurent if you're trying to get him back. I'm sorry, not sorry. It was the whole thing was dumb. Who are you? Who are you? These people are idiots. Idiots. I can't. I can't.
Are you saying that French people aren't smart, Tara?
No, I'm saying these particular people were idiots.
Also, this is not really
I like French people just fine. Like I've been to France. I speak some French. I know like French people are honestly way better than Americans in my mind at this point. Let's be real.
Right?
Listen, 6 months from now, we're going to be having to call them freedom fries, if you ask me. So,
But yeah, the plane shootout thing, it made no sense. This was just them trying to get in an action sequence in there
yeah.
somehow. Yeah.
And get a reason for Carol to have to dive out of the plane and stay with Daryl.
Ugh.
Their lives are so hard.
Okay, theories. I got nothing.
This is just a joke theory. Daryl is secretly immune because didn't he get scratched at the very beginning of the first season? It's a joke, by the way. I don't think he's immune at all. Also, holy cow. Can you guys still see me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I just had a pop-up come up on my screen. Also, this is kind of a grim thing that actually should, I guess, go somewhere else, but there's nowhere else for me to put it.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that thing. Yeah.
that line where,
I know. I
yeah,
heard it.
woo! Whenever they said, "Oh, you American," because they were saying, "Oh, some other person's gonna take is it Jeanette? Was that her name?
Janae.
Janae's. Somebody else will take Janae's place, but you Americans don't fall for fascists." And I was like, and that's all I can say about that.
I mean, to be fair, these
honest.
episodes finished airing before our election happened.
It doesn't matter.
You're right. We already had
talking about the election. Wink, wonk. But yeah, I heard that line. I felt my butthole kind of pucker. I was like, oh God. Fareed, look on your face. Anyway,
Fareed is safe in Canada.
Yeah, congratulations on being in Canada, Fareed.
For now.
Now, that's right. Weren't you going to try to come down to America?
I'm like, for now, I ain't coming now.
Your voice is just getting higher and higher.
I'm going to Greenland.
To Greenland, where there's women can steal your sperm.
Yeah, to be a donor.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, listen, today I learned that Lee. Oh my God, hold on. I gotta breathe for a second. Today I learned that conservative. I'm sorry, this is such a side note, but today I learned that conservative singer-songwriter Lee Greenwood of God Bless the USA fame, who is not shockingly staunchly anti-immigrant, tried to trademark the phrase God Bless the USA. He failed, by the way. He did several other things. He like sold God Bless the USA themed Bibles at one point. BT dubs, Trump, for sure. I'm sorry, our this guy, orange face, did push his God Bless the USA themed Bibles, but also he hilariously, Lee Greenwood also put out a God Bless Canada song. It's the same exact fucking song, guys. It's the same fucking song. He just replaced USA with Canada and replaced the place names.
Okay,
with
so
Canadian
you
places.
know what? So for some people over here, they think that Canada is gonna end up becoming a state for the US. And they're ready for war.
I don't think that's going
But
to
some
happen.
people, because I think that the states have doomsday preppers, right?
Yes,
Over in the states, and Canada have these sort of people who are ready to go to war because they don't want Canada becoming part of the United States.
I mean, honestly, I can't say I'm anti those doomsday preppers because I don't want poor Canada to become part of the United. Poor Canada, poor Canada. I don't want you to be part of the United States. I don't want to be part of the
No.
United States. Anyway, so my only theory about this Daryl Dixon show is England is safe. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that the whole story was like, oh, England was on lockdown, and I was like, England is like literally you can walk through tunnels,
It's like
and sure
it's
they
this
they
small.
they walk through those tunnels, but England is so close to the European landmass, to the Scandinavian landmass, to Ireland. You can fuck you, England is safe. What? Queen king, whoever the fuck they're gonna claim was the monarch at the time, if the monarchy hadn't been abolished prior to the Walking Dead,
The
because
Walking Dead.
yeah, because the Walking Dead is in a different kind of like world and time, like they're in a different timeline than we are. But like, you cannot tell me that England, that is literally like closer to all these land masses than the US is to like Europe or Asia, etc. Like you cannot tell it. France, the shit started in France and got to the US, but it didn't get to England. And Dean was like,
No.
well, I don't think they're saying it didn't get to England, but that they locked it down real fast. And I was like,
How?
did they though? Because I feel like police state US would have locked that shit down faster than England would have. And I am not even like, I'm not praising the US for being a police state. Okay, let me be very clear about that. But we're gonna get flagged for this webcast hardcore, just like it's okay. I did a Battlestar one a couple weeks ago where I was my podcast partner and I were going off about abortion rights, and I was like, we're gonna get flagged for this so hard.
The only people that I feel will survive, what I feel like are the South Asian countries mostly, because we have actual walls and gates around our houses.
Mm.
Well, I mean, I think that like I think that the everything is about like how remote you are, right? But also, if everybody who dies turns into a walker, you have to know that that's the thing that's going to happen before you can possibly contain anything to like that level that they're
Like who
claiming.
dies and like that's what Theo and his girlfriend were doing, right? They were in a very old neighborhood,
Yep.
and when people died, they would just lock their gates and stuff and
Yep.
just let them live.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And honestly, that was cute. That should have been one of
Mhm.
my best. That should have been one of my best things because, like,
Right?
as
That
much
was
as
nice. Hey.
yeah, I was like, hey, how you doing, girl? How you doing, boy? Love you so much. Have a
There
great
goes the
day.
baker with his dun dun dun. Put Bell in there.
His bread, like always, the same old bread and that.
Right? Bell shows up going through the zombie neighborhood.
Oh my god, I need that. I need that song. There's the baker with his bread. Like,
Bread
oh
should
no, wait,
always-
never mind.
He's dead. I need 6 pence. That's
She goes into the bookstore with the bookkeeper trying to bite her, and she's just moving around on the ladder.
She can't bite her because she's zipping around. Fareed, I think I know what you need to draw next.
We need a 6-panel comic of their little fucking neighborhood. That's like
Beauty and the Beast.
Fareed, please. I will pay you for it. I will.
We will.
Oh
Both
my
of us
God.
will. We'll pay you money. Real doll
Oh my
hairs.
God.
And
Real
I
dollar
don't
bucks.
even have to change the title. It literally is the Beauty and the Beast. That's it.
The Beauty and the Beasts and the
Beast.
Beasts and the Beasts
Yeah.
The
and the
Beast.
Beasts.
But yeah, I never believed that England was safe, so there's that. And that also we didn't really talk about the fact that Laurent was like that priest guy was gonna let him get bitten.
Mm.
Like
As proof.
that he was like the savior or whatever. Like, what? How about instead, like, you, I don't know, take some of his blood and inject it into somebody who has been bitten like super recently. Like, just take some of his blood, take some vials of his blood. I'm sure the kid would have been like, yeah, if you think it'll save somebody, take it. And like, you know, don't eviscerate me or whatever, but like, take some of my blood, take some vials, see if it works. If somebody has been bitten on like the wrist, arm, you know, leg, something, you know, like Herschel when they chopped his leg off. Like, are you fucking kidding me? And also, like, Kirkman has said that there's never going to be, never has been, and never is going to be a cure for zombie bites. Now, will that maybe change because of the shows? I don't know. But I also am just like this is not the way to go about it, you crazy asshole. Like, have this child get bitten. Like, if you think he's the savior, then just take some of it. The other thing I forgot to mention about theories, and this is not a legitimate theory. This is just a, when was it? How many like months ago was it that we did our last episode where I was joking about The Walking Dead, Fear the World Beyond, the book of Maggie and Negan in Daryl and Carol City That Lives, Judith.
Right?
So last night when we were finishing up these episodes, Dean was like, so what, is Laurent going to go back to the Commonwealth or wherever they are? And now he's like Judith's love interest. And I was like, no.
Oh my gosh, bro.
No. We're gonna get the Book of Judith.
Book of Judith.
And then
I ruined Fareed's life.
Look at
No. I bring you jokes and you bring me this?
You bring him trauma?
Because like Carol's like, oh, I bet you they're already back in the Commonwealth, and like,
oh my god, they're gonna do that. They're gonna do the
Ezekiel is
kiddie version of The Walking
Ash
Dead.
Ezekiel is showing Ash around, and Judith is gonna teach Laurent how to use her katana. And I was like, ah! And she said that after Dean was like, oh, so they're totally gonna get back there, and Laurent is gonna be Judith's love interest. And I was like, no, stop.
They're 12.
Dude.
It happens. It's the apocalypse.
Mm.
You didn't. I'm not saying they're gonna
Love interest. Could
have
be anything,
sex
yeah.
or anything,
Right.
but like, Jesus fucking Christ, like they're how many people are left? Laurent's like a knowledgeable, cute little kid. Judith is a knowledgeable, cute little kid.
The troll
do they-
child.
The troll, the goblin. The goblin's gonna get with the chosen one, yeah.
His tism vibes with her tism.
Oh my god.
Oh no. What if, because Judith is Judith, Laurent is the chosen one, and when they grow up and the kid that they have is immune?
Bro.
Stop. We're never these shows are never gonna end.
I really genuinely hope that producers are not listening to our show and taking notes.
Right? Just
Because
give them
it
ideas.
would be your fault, Fareed.
Well, I think it starts with my fault and then ends with
Right?
Fareed's fault.
Well, glad that I'm not a part of this.
Okay. Here's my question. If we're talking about theories, what do you think the chances are that there will be some sort of episodes, show, whatever it is, where Judith and Laurent are love interests? I think it's at least a 60% chance, honestly.
Yes, they have to have a reunion between Daryl and Judith. And Laurent. It has to happen.
Well, I mean, and Laurent's gonna go over there and be like, "Je t'aime, I am Franche."
Mm-mm. 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 Oh, but Daryl has to be reunited with Rick. God damn it.
Je t'aime fromage.
Omelette du
Omelette
fromage,
de meuf
Laurent. Omelette
fromage.
du fromage.
Oui, oui, baguette. Man,
I'm sorry that I brought this into this conversation. No, I'm not. No,
recommendations.
I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not sorry at all. I had to deal with it. I had to deal with like cracking up about this last night when we were finishing up these episodes. And Dean. This is all
quote
actually this is
Fareed-
all Dean's fault.
It's,
This is
it's
Dean's
his fault.
To quote Fareed, I give you jokes and you bring me this. Barn
I'm
dinner.
gonna tell
barn
Dean that.
trauma. I've got my fingers in my ears. Barn trauma. Okay. So recommendations. Fareed the
Okay,
Terror
my
in me.
recommendation would be to watch Interview with the Vampire. It's got 2 seasons out. The first season is up on Netflix.
Mhm.
Go watch it. The second season was amazing. The show has been renewed for a third season. Just watch it. It's so good.
Yeah, I
It's
liked
so
the
good.
first season a lot. I haven't watched the second season yet, but I want to, but I don't have like whatever fucking
Yeah, you either have to buy the entire second
yeah,
season or you
I
gotta
don't have
have like a AMC Plus subscription.
yeah.
Otherwise, you have to wait for it to hit Netflix. Yeah.
So the reason I wanted to go right after you is because while you're waiting for Interview with the Vampire, you should just watch True Blood
Mm.
from HBO. It's done. This shit's been done since like 2014. I had never watched it until like a few weeks ago,
Oh.
and I was just like desperate for something new, and I was like, a lot of my friends like True Blood, and Dean had watched all of it, and he had said like, it's funny. Like it's not supposed to be probably, but it's funny. But
It's
he's
cheesy,
not
campy.
it's cheesy, it's
Camp.
campy. It sometimes it takes itself seriously, but a lot of the
Mhm.
times it doesn't. Also, lots of hot people. I'm just saying, like
Oh, so many hot
I had
people.
never watched it. I got so sucked in,
So
pun
many hot people.
intended.
Elseed.
Blech.
Oh my
Pun
god.
intended. It doesn't, like I said, it does not take itself too seriously. And I actually like I finished watching it, and then like a week later, I was like, well, I'm gonna watch it again. And I also the audiobooks, the Sookie Stackhouse books that it's based on, which to be fair, are the show is better than the books, which
Mhm.
is so fucking rare for that to happen. But like I've been listening to them on Spotify Premium because they're free. So I've gotten through the first like 3 books, and like it I don't know. I'm just saying like it's I think it's just the hot people. Like I
Yeah,
could
it's
watch
just the hot
I could
people. Yeah.
watch Eric Northman.
Yeah, it's just hot people. That's it.
Yeah. Hot
Just
people
hot
having
people.
sex, lots of nudity.
That's it.
Like
Drinking blood.
I'm
Drinking blood,
honestly like
pouring
not
themselves with blood.
like in the books, I'm more attracted to Sam who runs Merlot's, like Sam
Mhm.
Merlot who runs Merlot's, but in the show, Eric Northman, whew, whew, he's doing
It's
it for
just
me.
I
So
remember watching it when it was airing and stuff, and there were certain scenes that were happening, and I was like, "Oh, HBO, more like HBO." No.
well, and the thing about it is it's not like Game of Thrones where
No.
a lot of it was like, ugh, you know what I
Icky,
mean?
right?
It's
Non-consensual,
there is some questionable stuff. Don't get me wrong, but like the sex stuff is like pretty much as far as I can remember, and I mean I just watched this, so I think it was like like 95% consensual and
Mhm.
so fucking sexy. So, just saying, like
Watch it. And I remember the
watch True Blood.
fandom went crazy because of the ending. Because of course everyone was waiting to see who Suki would end up with, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the show writers were like, "Yeah, what? Fuck that. She ended up with an unknown guy. There, happy. She's happy.
Spoilers.
Who cares? It's been out,
Yeah, it's been out. Yeah, it was like 10 years ago that the show
right? It's
ended.
been out. It's like, who who cares? She's happy with an unknown guy we have never seen before. She's happy.
But like the thing is, like from the early seasons especially, so Anna Paquin plays Sookie, and Stephen Moyer, who's a British actor, plays Bill, and they're like their chemistry was so good that they hadn't even like hooked up on screen yet, and he was already like leaving his wife for her, and they've been married for like 15 years or something.
Yeah, they've been
And
married for a long
yeah,
time. Yeah.
like which is like questionable in the like cheating sense, but also
But
just
also, I can
saying.
kind of give it a pass if you leave your spouse before hooking up with the person you're interested in.
I mean, I'm gonna guess that they
Kind of.
probably did,
But
but
kind
like
of. Kind
regardless,
of.
I'm just saying, like True Blood, it's like I was so anti-vampire stuff because of Twilight, because that was like the
Mm.
first like real, and I read Interview with the Vampire, and I have issues with the books, and I had issue with the first movie. The show is doing way more justice to things
Yeah, yeah.
than the book
The
and
show's
or
great.
the movie ever did. But True Blood, oof. Watch True Blood, man. If you've never watched True Blood, watch True Blood.
Mm-hmm.
If only to like get your rocks off, like by watching hot people fuck each other every other
Right?
episode.
Who
Because you're
cares
right,
about the
Alcide.
story?
Oh God, Alcide.
Right?
Oof.
I'm like, Elsie.
I mean, he's Eric Northman here. Alcide is like just under him, but yeah.
I want to see that.
Oh my God. Also, lots of because of there's this whole thing where like if you drink a vampire's blood, you're more attracted to them. There
And they
are
show up in
there
your dreams. Oh my
yeah.
god. They
So
did a
there's a
lot of
lot of
that.
I'm
They did
looking
a
yeah.
up
lot of
these
that.
people and what they look like.
There's a lot
They
of
did a
sex
lot of that
between.
with they did a lot of that between the two vampires. They did a lot of that between Suki's brother. Things be happening. And then after that it's like, oh, it's just a dream.
Also, Don't Fight Me. Terry Belfleur is the fucking best human character in that show. I don't care. Like there's some questionable stuff from his past that he was like kind of forced to do because he's an Iraqi war veteran. But
Mm.
Terry Belfleur is a magical, like actual human being. Just saying, I love it. Like I said, I'm literally rewatching the show like less than a week after I'd finished it the first time because I was like, I just need something that's gonna make me feel good, and this makes me feel good in all the regions.
Becca, go ahead.
Finally.
Right?
I've never seen True Blood except for the one part where they go to the diner and the guy's like, I don't want AIDS on my hamburger. That's True Blood, right?
Yes,
Mhm.
that's a
Okay.
really fucking good scene,
Yeah.
though.
Okay. Anyway, I've watched that scene like 875 times.
Yeah,
Okay.
Lafayette is best.
Yes. That's the only character I'm super familiar with. Okay, so I am recommending A Virtuous Business on Netflix. It is a Korean comedy. I'm not finished with it yet, but I really, really love it. And it is the story of four women in their 30s to 50s who decide to start selling adult toys and lingerie in South Korea in 1992. And it's just a darling. I think it's a darling. It has like some mystery to it. There's like a detective murder thing going on. And it's so far it's pretty good. And the best thing about it is that it's a limited series.
Mhm.
So let's see. And it's actually still currently airing. The next episode is coming out. All right, so there's gonna be 12 episodes, and the next episode comes out on the 16th. That's episode 11, and then episode 12 comes out on the 17th. But yeah, I've seen up until episode 5, I think. But I started watching it whenever I was traveling, on the airplane and stuff, whenever I was
Mhm.
doing a lot of my concert stuff. But yeah, it's a virtuous business. It has some pretty famous names in it. from Korea, and but it's good. It's not just a rom-com. It's about,
Dude, I'm fine with just a rom-com.
no, I mean, I love rom-coms, don't get me wrong, but like this is different than what I usually watch. Um, so I definitely recommend it. It's deals a lot with family and a lot with like generational curses and lifting the shame off yourself and reclaiming.
Have you watched Nobody Wants This on Netflix yet?
No, not yet.
No,
I've
not yet.
seen it.
Well,
I've seen the trailers.
it's I mean it's not Korean, but
Kristen
it's
Bell, right?
yeah, and Adam Brody, which, uh but like it's really fucking cute. Like it's
Also,
really fucking cute.
I watched Heretic with Hugh Grant, and
Oh yeah, the
it
new
was so,
movie.
Oh, Hugh
yeah,
Grant. I just
yeah,
walk around the streets all day peeving.
even, yeah. It was an interesting movie. I if you enjoy religion and you enjoy theology and questions about religion, I definitely would suggest, like, recommend it. But if you don't go see it.
Hmm.
I loved it because I love religion, I love theology. Um, and it's not a horror movie, it's definitely a thriller. But yeah, definitely recommending A Virtuous Business though, because it's very cute.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Recommendation and one cons and stuff.
I don't have anything until January. I'm going to Castle Fair in Helena, Georgia. Um, but it's like a one weekend Renaissance festival.
I ain't got nothing.
You're muted, Tara.
I've never been to Helena, even though it's so close to where we live.
Somebody told me that it's like the Myrtle Beach of mountain towns. So I'm curious. But also I'm going up with like Britt and Megan and
Oh, fun.
Lakota. So
A bunch of
I'm
Ice and Firecom people, yeah.
yeah. So I'm Ice and Firecon people and some Dragon Con people, and um I'm gonna bring like some of my Targaryen stuff, some new looks. There's gonna be a ball. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I don't have any conventions until like later. I think Dragon Con is probably going to be my first convention next year. I don't think I'm going to be able to go to San Diego because I don't think I'm going to be living in California anymore. But later this month I'm going to geek the fuck out in Japan. So
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Japan.
I'm going. It's like a slightly early birthday trip. It's like the week before we leave the day after Thanksgiving and we're there for 8 days. So I'm pretty excited.
Oh,
Scared
Japan. Yeah.
because I haven't been overseas since like I went overseas like 4 times between 2000 and 2011, and then like I haven't since then. And Japan also has a much bigger like language barrier because I did take both French and German, so like I knew, like I was able to get by in most European countries either because they spoke English regularly like the Netherlands, or in France and Germany like I knew just enough to like kind of get by. So this is a little, nerve inducing, but I don't care. I'm excited. I'm excited to be in Japan finally. I'm not excited for that 12-hour flight, but can't wait to geek the fuck out at the Pokemon Go Center in Tokyo and
Right? There's
shit.
like so much to do. The themed food items that they have. I'm like,
Mhm. Yeah, we decided not to go to the oh my god, the animation, the main, why am I blanking on like Princess Your Neighbor Totoro, like all that stuff. We decided not to go to his museum. I'm blanking on his name right now, but like we decided
Miyazaki.
yeah, Miyazaki, thank you. We decided not to go to the museum because we heard it was basically like a childish, like it's fun if you have like kids with you, or it's fun if you're like super super into that, which like I like his stuff, but we're not on that level. But yeah, I'm I'm so excited for all the Pokemon stuff. So
Okay. This has been Becca, Fareed, and Tara bitching about stuff and things with the Bitching Dead. Thank you again for joining us. We don't know when we'll be back, but assume that it will be eventually, and we will bitch about things. Please follow the Bitching Dead and Geekery on Twitter. Remember, we are a free webcast run off of donations from viewers like you. Thank you for contributing and helping our host site, the Geekery. We will see you next time. Have good holidays. Be safe. Make good
yes.
choices. Goodbye.